Hi, in our practice today, we're going to talk about the hips. And our hips play a huge part in our alignment of the shoulders. So, a lot like our shoulders, our hips can internally rotate and externally rotate. And then they abduct and adduct. So, in this position, my hips are just square. But when I bring my knee in, my hip internally rotates. And when I bring my knee out to the side, my hip externally rotates. My hip can also flex. So anytime I'm doing a back bend, I'm in flexion. Forward bend, I'm in inflection. And then when I come into a back bend, I'm in an extension. So when my hip internally rotates, I'm really engaging the inside muscles, the adductors, kind of an odd position for my knee to be in. And then when I externally rotate it, I'm working the outside of that hip. I'm working on what we call the abductors or external rotators. Glute medius is one of the big players there. The piriformis helps really make that position happen. And then in those internal rotators, we have the gracilis is a big player there. Hip flexion is where we spend a lot of our time because it's the same position here as if we were sitting at our computer or desk. And our psoas is a big player. So a lot of times our psoas tends to be pretty tight because we're in this position a lot. And then the glutes are a big player in that hip extension. Anytime I'm lifting my hips or creating more space in the front side of my body, I'm in that hip extension. And sometimes a little more challenging because those glutes can be underactive. We tend to be a little more active in that front side of our body or that anterior side of the body because a lot of what we do is moving forward and we don't kind of do anything really backwards too often. So training our posterior chain or the back side of the body is something that works naturally. You'll see here when I'm sitting in this Sukhasana position, my left knee is a little bit elevated. That, for me, means that my left external rotators are pretty tight. They don't want to let go, and they really want to hold this hip up. Maybe my psoas plays a little bit of focus in there. And if I switch the positions, bringing my right knee forward, I find a little bit more balance, but I definitely feel a little more tension in the outside of that right hip. So when you come to your Sukhasana, your easy pose, it's important to maybe change what foot goes in front so you can help with this hip focus a little bit more. We have, again, some of us are just born with different anatomy, physical constraints on making these muscles change or making these joints change. But over time, hopefully we can kind of tap into some of that software and change a little bit as we continue. So you'll see I'm going to start here with my right leg forward in Sukhasana or easy pose. And again, if this is completely uncomfortable for you, find another position. You're welcome to come to hero pose or Dandasana. So either one of those are totally great seated positions depending on where you're at. I'm going to work on my Sukhasana today, right leg forward because I tend to bring that left leg forward. And then the heels can come closer to the body or farther away, kind of depending on how that feels. So just check in here we'll start in the seated position, the Sukhasana pose. And you'll see here that like when my heels came closer to my hips, my knees dropped a little bit. Whereas if I draw them away, that's going to kind of increase that hip flexion. So just finding a space that works for you. And then close your eyes and begin to come on to your mats. Just beginning to first acknowledge and notice any sensations in the space, your physical body. Noticing any tension, any holding in this space. Noticing anything in your heart or anything in your mind. Keeping the eyelids closed, just connecting to your mat, connecting to your body, connecting to your heart, connecting to your mind. And then start to bring about a little bit of change. Grounding the sit bones down through the earth as you lengthen the crown of the head up towards the sky, maybe dropping the chin towards the chest. Rib cage comes back slightly. You'll notice the core muscles really begin to engage and activate here. Maybe letting the palms face up to encourage some opening in the heart, opening in the shoulders. Allowing your mouth to close and just breathing in, letting that diaphragm expand top to bottom, left to right, in through your nose. Pausing at the top. And then exhale through the rib cage, the chest and the belly, letting that diaphragm deflate. Top to bottom, left to right. Pausing at the bottom. Inhale, let's bring that audible breath, really constricting in the throat. Pause at the top, and then exhale, constricting in that throat, bringing an audible sound, pausing at the bottom. So remember, again, it's like as if you were going to blow in front of you, but your mouth stays closed. In yoga, we call this Ujjayi breathing or rhythmic breathing, where we bring an audible sound to it. Let's draw the bottoms of the feet together. Connecting hands to the shins, just lift. Let the hips open. Let the knees settle down towards the earth. Maybe release the hands and see if you can engage those, letting the knees fall a little closer towards the earth. We'll bring the knees together, roll over to all fours. And I want you to lift up and back through that right leg. We've been here before. Reach the right leg out to the side, keeping that foot high as the hip. And then exhale, rotate it across the side. Inhale across the body. Exhale, bring it to the opposite side. Inhale across the body. Exhale, bring it away. So we're playing with internal, external rotation of the hip here. Just warming up those hips. Bring it back. Last time. Set it down. Lift the left leg. Bring that left heel over towards the left. Exhale, swing it across the body. Inhale. Exhale, nice job. Inhale. Exhale. I'm bringing my gaze with it. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale through center. Exhale, set it down. Let's shift the weight into that right hip, pushing that right hip to the side. Inhale through center, draw shoulders over wrists. Exhale, left hip to the side. Inhale through center, exhale, right hip over towards the right. Inhale through center, left hip over towards the left. Inhale through center, right hip over towards the right. Then let's shift the weight back into that right hip. Let the head drop. Shift the weight over towards that left hip. Bring a little bit of weight into that left shoulder, right shoulder. Exhale, right hip, left hip. Inhale, left hand, right hand. Exhale, right hip, left hip. Let the head just kind of move in a place that feels good. Just making big circles here with the hips. And we'll switch directions. So come forward to that right hand, left hip, right hip, right hand, left hip. So we're just shifting the weight like a square and letting the head and shoulders kind of move in a way that feels good. You can make it a little deeper, dropping the head, dropping the hips, or a little more shallow, whatever feels good to you. And back to center. Let's pause and just shift the hips right one more time. Shift the hips left one more time. Check in. Inhale through center. Let's flip the toes under. Bend the knees. Let the knees hover. Hop or step the feet between the hands. Full fold here. Uttanasana, hip flexion. Let's interlace the fingers behind the back. Bring the palms together. Let the head surrender. Reach the pinkies towards the earth. Open the heart. Open the chest. Pausing here. 5 full breaths. Trying to connect to that Ujjayi breath. Release the hands to the earth. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, the stand. Legs are strong. Arms are strong. Let's grab that left wrist. Lengthen out through the left side body. Shift the hips over towards the left. Reach the hands over towards the right. So big lateral hip stretch here. Inhale through center. Exhale. Shift to the right. Inhale through center. Exhale, shift it left. Inhale through center. Exhale, shift it right. Try to keep the shoulders square. Inhale through center. Exhale, last one to the left. Pause here. One more inhale. One more exhale. Inhale through center. Exhale, shift. Pause. One more inhale. One more exhale. Inhale through center. Exhale to Samasthiti. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, swan dive forward. Plant the hands, step the feet back. Find your plank pose, your Dandasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So shoulders are externally rotated. Really engage through the adductors of the entire leg, from the heel all the way up to that hip. And then let's inhale that right leg behind us, 3-legged dog, and bend the right knee. So opening that right hip a lot, reaching that right knee up towards the sky, letting that right foot fall open. Pause in just a few breaths here. Really externally rotate that right hip. Round through both hands. Really connect to it. Bring the gaze towards the earth. Exhale, draw that right knee to right elbow. Inhale, kick it back. Exhale, right knee to right elbow. Inhale, kick it back. Exhale, draw that right foot between the hands. Let's rotate that back foot. So we've been here, warrior two. So that left hip is going to externally rotate slightly, but we're going to really engage in the quadratus lumborum, core muscles on the back side of the body, and then those obliques in that front side. Front knee bends, shifting weight, so I'm not just leaning into that front leg. Side body's long, and then encourage that right knee to come open right over the ankle so my hips externally rotate. Arms lift, maybe palms facing up, squeezing shoulder blades together, then down on the back. So Virabhadrasana 2, hips are really energetically working away. So the right knee energetically really works away, really engaging the outside of that right hip. Left leg strong through the whole thing. Inside of that left thigh is working really hard. So is the outside, but not so high. It's a little more in that glute maximus, glute minimus. So then let's step that front foot forward slightly. Square the hips forward. Virabhadrasana 1 prep. So I'm not just leaning into that right leg. I'm really centering my body weight between both legs. Shoulders are over hips. Rib cage back long through the side body. Settling into the legs first. So knee stays over the ankle, but I gently kind of push away with that knee, really turning on those external hip rotators, really rotating here, strong in this hip, and then energetically drawing that hip up slightly to really hold that neutral or internal rotation. Arms lift. Virabhadrasana 2, lift the heart, lift the chest. Keep that engagement of the lower abdomen. Hips stay strong. Exhale, let's draw the hands to the front. Step the left foot forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward. Inhale to stand. Exhale, hands to heart, Samasthiti. Inhale to stand. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, flat back. Plant the hands, step the feet back to your Dandasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. 3 full breaths here. Taking a pause. Inhale the left leg, open the left hip, bend the left knee, reach that left knee up towards the sky as you let that left foot fall over towards the right. Shoulders are still square here because I'm equally weighted in my left hand and my right. Open the hip, big external rotation here. Few breaths. Straighten through the leg. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, kick it back. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, kick it back. I know it's hard. Exhale, knee to elbow. Step the foot between the hands. Rotate that back foot. Warrior foot. So I ground down through my feet and I really engage this back leg to come to a nice solid foundation. Right hip is externally rotated. Long through my side body, really squeezing through these external rotators here in this left hip. Left knee's bent, knee over ankle. Center my body weight. Arms reach out. So you can feel energy working away, the insides of the thighs, kind of working away from one another. Virabhadrasana 2. Lots of strength in that right glute, holding here. And then we'll step that back foot forward slightly. Rotate that right hip. And you'll notice that my right hip's a little lower, so lift that right hip up just a little bit. That happens from bringing that lower upper right rib towards that lower right rib. Settle into the foundation. Square your hips. Shoulders over hips, rib cage back, core's nice and strong. Little curve in the lumbar, but not too much. We want to keep it protected. Inhale, Virabhadrasana 1. Pausing here, connecting to that balance of effort and ease. Probably more effort than ease. Exhale, bring the hands to the earth. Step that right foot forward. Inhale to flat back, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to stand. Exhale to Samasthiti. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, swan dive forward. Plant the hands. Step the feet back, shoulders over wrists, hips in line with the shoulders. Exhale, downward dog. Let's shift the shoulders over hips. So when I shift my shoulders over my hips, I'm still strong in my core. I'm not just dropping my hips. I just literally shift my weight, shoulders over hips. My core is strong, back stays flat, glutes are active. Drop to your knees. Release the tops of the feet to the earth. Lower the body so the chest and the ribs connect to the earth at the same time. Nice and quick, helps really protect that shoulder, but some people like to do this slow. I like to do it quick because I have shoulder problems. So exhale, lower the body, nice and strong, quickly. And then draw those shoulder blades together on the back. You'll see kind of my elbows work towards my toes, my heels. Squeeze my legs together, engaging my heels, thighs. Push the pelvis onto the earth. Maybe bring the chin to the earth. Squeeze the shoulders together. Inhale, lift, pushing the pelvis. Cobra pose. Lots of strength here in the back. This is hip extension. I'm really engaging those glutes, creating space in that hips, really kind of taking some energy away from that psoas. Exhale, lower the chin, long through the spine, pushing the hips and chest up at the same time. Flip the toes under. Exhale, back to your downward dog. Engage energetically, drawing the heels towards one another. And when you do that, the thigh bones, the muscles of the thighs just naturally go onto the bones. Instead of just collapsing the knees together, it really engages the external rotators, the adductors here. Inhale, lift that right leg, and we're going to bend that right knee, opening the hip again. Exhale, draw knee to elbow. I know it's hard. Hips stay high. Inhale, kick it back. Exhale, just shift the weight. Inhale, kick it back. Exhale, shift the weight. Bring the foot to the earth. Rotate that back foot. Inhale, Virabhadrasana 2, external rotation. Shoulders are square, hips are square. Draw that left hip forward. Draw that left leg in slightly. Not everyone needs to do that. I need to do that a little bit. That's what my hip wants me to do. And then I'm going to draw that left hip up. Virabhadrasana 2. Virabhadrasana 1. Warrior 1. Lift and lengthen. Rotate back to Warrior 2. Exhale, rotate. Check in that left glute really strong. Inhale, Warrior 1, Virabhadrasana 1, center the weight. Rotate, Virabhadrasana 2. Inhale, Virabhadrasana 1, left hip energetically up. Virabhadrasana 2. Virabhadrasana 1. Draw the hands to the earth. Footsteps forward. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale to stand. Exhale to Samasthiti. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands, step back to your plank. Drop the knees. Exhale, lower the body. Inhale to that strong cobra. Back. Exhale, touch the chin down. Inhale, push up. Nice. Exhale, back to your downward dog. 3 full breaths here. Check in. Shoulders are externally rotating. Knuckle pads connected to the earth. Heels energetically work towards one another. Relax the head and neck. Inhale, lift that left leg. Bend the left knee. Square the shoulders. Open the hips. Exhale, knee to elbow. Shift the weight. Inhale, kick it back. I know it's hard. Exhale, shift the weight. Inhale, kick it back. Exhale, shift the weight. Step the foot between the hands. Rotate that back foot. Inhale, warrior 2. Square the hips. Legs are strong. Exhale, warrior 1. Inhale, warrior 2. 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 Exhale, warrior 1. Inhale, plant the hands. Step the foot forward. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale to stand. Exhale, hands to Samasthiti. Inhale, Tadasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plant the hands, step the feet back. Maybe you stay here in your high plank. Lower the body. Inhale, squeeze the thighs together. Push the pelvis onto the earth. Connect the shoulders towards one another. Chin to chest. Flip up and through. Back to your downward dog. Bend the knees, bring the gaze between the hands. Hop or step your feet between the hands. Inhale, halfway left. Exhale, fold. Inhale to stand. Exhale to Samasthiti. We're going to move into balance. Shift the weight to that left leg. So again, check in, squeezing that thigh towards the midline. Right leg rotates out. We're stretching through this front side and really contracting through that back side. Right foot comes onto the leg wherever it works. Vrikshasana, tree pose. Open the hips. Open the heart. Few breaths here. I want you to really settle into this space. Connecting to those little movements, muscle energy in, muscle energy out. If you wobble, that is totally fine. Just come back to it. Bring the knee back to center, set the foot down, arms by the side. Shift the weight to the right leg, knee comes up towards the chest, foot on thigh. Open the hip. Round through that leg. Connect to your foundation, squeezing the thigh towards midline, grounding down through the earth. Energy up towards the sky, Vrikshasana. However you want. Settling in, breathing into your pose here. Bring it back. Hands to heart center, Samasthiti. Close the eyes, pause. Inhale, arms lift. Push the hips forward, reach the hands back, lift and open through the heart. So I'm not just collapsing in. I'm lifting and opening, pushing through the hips forward. So I don't have to have the deepest back bend here, but I'm having a nice, healthy back bend. If I come a little further, I'm just taking all that in my low back. But if I lift and lengthen, I'm having a really healthy, beautiful back bend. Hip extension. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands, step the right foot a little bit wider, left foot a little bit wider. Settle the hips to the earth. Lift through the chest. Hips in external rotation. Malasana, yogi squat. Bring the weight to the heels. Lift and lengthen through the heart, the spine. Same position as our Virabhadrasana 2. Hands to the earth. Toe heel the feet a little bit wider. Exhale, wide leg forward fold. Heavy. And just rock the weight forward and back in the heels and the toes. And we'll slowly walk those hands a little bit over towards the left. I like to really lengthen through my right side body and then kind of surrender and lengthen the crown of the head. Big side body stretch from the wrist all the way down to the hip. Walk the hands over towards the right in front of that right foot. Come to the left fingertips. Bring the hands back to the earth. Rotate the toes out so they're about 45 degrees. And then let's lift in the chest, sit the sit bones back. So my hips are wide, externally rotated here. Hands come to heart center, goddess pose. Glutes are strong. Inhale to star. Exhale, let's 90-degree bend in our shoulders, goddess pose. Inhale the star, reach to the fingertips. Exhale the goddess. Inhale, reach to the fingertips, big star. Exhale the goddess. Inhale the star. Exhale, hands to heart center. Walk the feet underneath the hips. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, swan dive forward. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands, walk the feet back. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale the right leg high. Exhale, draw that right knee towards the right elbow and then bring it up towards that right wrist. Preparing for pigeon pose, Ekapada Raja Kapotthasana. So in this position, my hips are square and I'll probably have a void of space between my hip and the earth. You're welcome to put something under there. Find a little more support if your hips are tight. Or bring the heel a little closer towards your groin. And if that's just completely too much, just come onto your back and try this figure 4 stretch. It's very similar. So we're going to try to square the hips so the left hip and the right hip are facing the same direction. So I'm not just coming onto the outside of that right hip. My hips are square. And then I'll just kind of slowly meet my body where it's at. Dropping maybe my forearms to the earth. Maybe my forehead onto my forearms. Try to deepen your breath here, especially your exhale. Try to relax in the shoulders, letting the hips settle towards the earth, and really releasing in the outside of that right hip. 3 full more breaths here. Slowly coming up. Let's flip the left toes under, push the hands into the earth. Keep that right leg back. Maybe a couple little circles or big circles, knee, and set it down. Inhale the left leg high, bend the left knee, open that left hip. Exhale, bring the knee towards the elbow, then towards the hip. Sorry, the wrist. Square the hips. Again, you can put something underneath you so you don't shift your weight. Or coming onto your back for that figure 4 stretch. And then just beginning to settle into it, wherever your body's at. Deepening your breath. Slowly pushing the hands into the earth. Flip the back toes under. Big power move here. Left knee comes back. Maybe make some circles. One direction or the next. Bring the left foot to the earth. 5 full breaths here in your Adho Mukha Svanasana. Settle into it. Bend the knees, let the knees hover, and then let them drop. Bring the big toes to touch. Exhale, let the hips settle. Keeping the knees a little closer, let the arms rest by your side, palms facing up, and then slowly just let the forehead relax onto the earth, letting the shoulders round forward slightly as you let the sit bones connect a little closer towards the heels. Let the forehead connect with the earth and then just rock it from side to side, using the pressure of the earth to find a little release in the tension of your forehead. Giving yourself just a nice little free massage here, releasing any tension in the forehead. And then just taking a few breaths in this passive balasana. And notice towards the earth. Notice your heart rate. Notice the pace and depth of your breath. Slowly pushing the hands into the earth, slipping those legs forward. Straighten through that left leg. Let's cross that right heel. Pushing the hands into the earth. Just pause here, letting that knee settle towards the earth. If this is too intense for your ankle or your knee, just drop the foot in the side of that thigh. The foot can be on the thigh or closer in towards the hip for like a half lotus pose. And just let the knee settle, opening the hip. Slowly release the foot, straighten through that right knee. Again, bringing that left heel maybe to the inside of the thigh, just on top of that right thigh, or bringing the heel a little closer, more towards in that hip crease. Letting your breath settle that left hip down towards the earth. Back stays nice and flat. And then let's bring the bottoms of the feet to touch as we began. And Supta Baddha Konasana. You can stay here or you can play with practicing your lotus pose, bringing one heel in towards the crease. The opposite foot comes on top, dropping the knees towards the earth. Maybe one foot on top feels better than the other. Either pose is fine. We're working the hips wherever you're at. Whenever you're ready, slowly coming out. Bend the knees, bring the bottom of the feet to touch the earth. Lift the left leg, flatten through the back, open the chest. Lift the right, pause here. Straighten through the legs, let the back come towards the earth. Bring the knees towards the chest. Straighten through the legs. Hinge. 3 more. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, pause here. Slowly lower the body all the way to the earth. Press the hands onto the top of the thighs. Push the hands. The thigh bones. And then drop the elbows onto the earth. And then find a big curve in the lumbar spine, letting it kind of round off of the earth. So you're finding space under here, the back and the earth, keeping the hands pressed onto those sit bones. And then exhale, draw one knee into the chest and keeping the head and neck flat on the back. From here, we'll release into our happy baby. It's the sky. Grabbing the outsides of the feet, drawing the knees towards the chest, Ananda Balasana. Bring the spine to the earth, relax the shoulders, relax the grip. Few breaths here. And then slowly releasing the heels towards one another. Drop the feet towards the earth and let the knees come in towards one another as the feet are as wide as the mat. Relax the arms by the side, palms face up. Let the shoulders connect to the body, to the earth. And then when you're ready, straightening through both the legs, coming onto your back, preparing for your Shavasana, your final posture in your series, corpse pose, posture of letting go. Noticing the earth supporting your body and just guiding yourself into this stillness. Noticing maybe the natural rhythms of your body, your breath and your heart. And your final breaths in this space. Slowly transitioning onto your side, right side for energy, left side for calming. And just pause in this space. Making your way to your seated position. Maybe your Dandasana, maybe your Sukhasana, or maybe you'll play with that lotus pose. Bring your hands together in front of your heart center and taking a moment to acknowledge any sensations in the heart, the mind, and the body. Anything you'd like to carry with you for the rest of your day. Breathing that to the spaces of your body, your heart, and your mind. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. The light in me honors the light in you. This is the meaning of the word. Namaste. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for practicing.